I happen to be at Maryruth's house, and she has an incredibly inspiring story that I'd love for you to hear. Maryruth?
Hi, happy to be here.
Thank you so much for agreeing to do this. I'm going to move the camera down just a little bit to get you in the frame better. How about that?
Hi, everyone.
So we've had a chance to have some conversations as I've been visiting you. And this is the second time I've visited you, but this is a different house.
Yep.
You were in Wisconsin last time, I think.
I was.
Yeah. Okay, so a lot has happened since then. It's been what? Well, probably almost 2 years, huh?
Almost, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. It was the summer, yeah.
Life has thrown a lot at me.
But before that, you've gone through quite a bit as well.
True.
I didn't know this before, but you shared with me today that you lived in isolation for several years.
A decade.
Tell us why.
I am a PTSD veteran, and I, like many veterans, tried to fix myself with alcohol and, you know, the usual things. They don't work. So I isolated myself, and I found 40 acres in the mountains of northern Arizona. It was perfect. And I had a little 10-foot fiberglass egg like a scamp. It's a burrow. And I put it right in the middle of the 40 acres, and that's where I lived for 10 years by myself, getting myself straight. The world was overwhelming. I couldn't deal with people. The world's people-y. There's a lot of people out there, and I couldn't deal with them. But after the first several years, I started changing the way I thought about things. I didn't see everything as against me. I started looking at things instead of looking at what could happen. I started seeing the beautiful sunsets out here, and there isn't a lot out here. It's a beautiful place, but it's very stark beauty. You have to see the beauty in cactus and lava and things that bite. But it's there, and there's a lot of it. And once I started the baby steps of changing the way I looked at things, I wasn't afraid anymore.
Do you think that being by yourself for a while, because I know that you're coming from a place where you were living with, well, your brother, your adopted brother there, and it was a little bit stressful for you. So do you think that having that alone time was beneficial to you?
I do, but I think that's always been part of my character. I am very comfortable with myself. It's other people that give me a problem. And I'm very comfortable. I need alone time to recharge. I think a lot of people do, and you don't get it in this modern world. Mm-hmm. It's overwhelming out there, and we don't have time to just sit down and read a book or watch a sunset. You're always going. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't take it to the extreme I did if I was to do it again, but I know better now. You can get so entrenched in just the feeling of must be away from everything else that you forget to stop and look around and see that the threat really isn't there as much as you thought it was. I mean, obviously you have to be situationally aware any place in the world anymore. You always did. But it's not, the universe isn't aimed at me. And I thought it was for a long time.
Yeah. So how was your childhood? Did you grow up as an isolated kid? I
grew up in a big Catholic family, Irish Catholic family with cousins everywhere and friends, and in a beautiful part of Chicago, Oak Park, glorious place, 3-story houses. I had a Norman Rockwell childhood, and my parents told me I could be anything I wanted to, and I was. Until life gave me a series of knocks that just, and it does it to everybody, but it just took my self-confidence. It took everything. I got Crohn's syndrome. I was hospitalized for almost a year. I was sick all the time. I couldn't do things I wanted to do. It just beats you down.
Well, look how resilient you have bounced back.
Exactly. I lived through it. One day at a time is not just for AA, it's for a lot of things. I didn't expect to live through it, and I was surprised I lived through it, but I think a lot of that is just my nature is fairly optimistic. I used to wake up and go, oh, I didn't die. I guess I'll go do something.
Yeah.
And to tell the truth, I still do sometimes.
Yeah.
But like living with my brother, who's a natural pessimist, make for some very interesting conversations.
Yeah. See, I don't see you as the introvert that you're talking about. I see you as a very social person.
And I am, but in small increments.
Okay.
You know how I have to go and nap every day, and if I'm in a crowd, I can do crowds for about an hour and a half. I used to love them. I used to love walking in downtown Chicago. I love the ebb and flow of the humanity. And now, if I walk through a crowd, I have to go sleep for 10 hours. My whole system just rejects it.
But you overcame some pretty significant traumas. What would you say some of the baby steps would be to take for somebody that maybe is going through challenges right now?
Take the time to grieve. You have to go through it. You have to climb in that hole and pull it in after you for a little while. I still have times when it's not even depression. It's more just, you can call it depression. I watch Shane, I watch Old Yeller, I watch Waterloo Bridge, I cry for 6 hours. I just watch the most depressing things I can find, and I'm there on the couch going, at least my dog doesn't have rabies, and my fiance didn't get killed in the war. And by the end of it, I'm bored with it. My system has reset itself because it's very cathartic to cry. And we're taught that you never should. And you don't get over it, but you can learn to live with these things.
Yeah.
You just don't want anyone else to see them.
Right.
But the baby steps are the first ones. Get out of the house. All of my fears of, what if they don't like me? What if I don't fit in? What if this, that, and the other were just ridiculous?
Yeah.
People don't look at you and say, I'm not going to like you. They look at you and say, oh, you're different than us. I want to learn about that. I like that. I wasn't prepared for that.
Yeah, so sometimes we can create our own limiting beliefs.
Absolutely. I think 90% of it is self-inflicted. If I have one regret, it's that I let it go on so long because nobody told me, get up and take a chance, a little chance. Doesn't have to be a big chance.
Yeah.
Make a phone call. Call somebody you haven't talked to in 5 years. That was one of the first I did. I called my sister-in-law and said, hi. And she went, what? Who is this? And I mean, my family was 100% on my side. They let me go through it. It's just not easy. But life really isn't. I think a lot of people are just afraid to go through the pain to get to the other side. Or we're told, you can medicate, oh, nothing should ever hurt, take this, take that.
Yeah.
Didn't work for me. This does. And now, when someone like Elaine is going to be in the area, I go out of my way to say, I can meet you somewhere.
Yeah.
Let's have lunch.
It has been such a delight knowing this lady. Seriously, as we have had so much fun together.
We have.
Yeah.
I think we're related from another generation or something.
Yeah. Anyway,
Obviously.
Well, see you down the road.
Bye.